At a few prestigious US campuses, protests against the Gaza war have gained traction while authorities work feverishly to defuse the unrest. On Monday night, police proceeded to disperse an encampment at New York University, NYU, and made several arrests. Columbia University postponed in-person classes earlier in the day, while dozens of Yale students were jailed. Alleged anti-Semitic events have marred the wave of demos, and the White House has denounced them. Since the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, which sparked Israel's campaign in Gaza, U.S. universities have been engulfed in protests and intense discussions over the Israel-Gaza war and free speech. Students in the U.S. claim that since then, there has been an increase in occurrences of Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. President Joe Biden stated he opposed those who don't understand what's going on with the Palestinians, in addition to the anti-Semitic protests, when questioned about the rallies on Monday. After more than 100 protesters were arrested by New York City police last week after they were summoned to Columbia's campus, the protest movement gained significant attention. Since then, rallies have grown in number. Encampments have also been established at Tufts, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, the University of Michigan, the University of California at Berkeley, Emerson College, and Yale in addition to NYU and Yale. The NYU demonstrators are urging their university to reveal and divest its finances and endowments from weapons manufacturers and companies with an interest in the Israeli occupation, just as their contemporaries. According to one student, Alejandro Tannen, the U.S. was in a critical moment, and compared the protests to historical movements against apartheid in South Africa and the Vietnam War. "We support Palestine and the freedom of all people," a demonstrator declared to CBS News, the BBC's U.S. partner. Another person holding an Israeli flag across the street remarked, "There's one side here and one side of history. Here, this is the correct side." According to NYU, the major campsite outside the business school featured 50 people. It said that the demonstration was unapproved and that it interfered with classes. On Monday night, police began making arrests. They haven't given a number. About 50 demonstrators were taken into custody at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut, just hours earlier. Hundreds of people had gathered, according to the authorities, and many of them were defying orders to leave. Head of Columbia University Dr. Manoush Shafik issued a warning to students on Monday to avoid the campus due to intimidating and harassing behavior. Instead, classes were conducted remotely. Campus conflicts, according to Dr. Shafik, have been exploited and amplified by individuals who are not affiliated with Columbia who have come to campus to pursue their own agendas. NYU authorities also hinted that demonstrators who had no affiliation with the university had shown present. They were the latest organization to report anti-Semitic incidents on Monday, the first day of the Jewish holiday of Passover. Online videos from recent events seem to show some demonstrators in the Columbia area endorsing the historic Hamas attack on Israel. During her Monday tour of Columbia, Democratic Congresswoman Kathy Manning reported seeing demonstrators who were demanding the destruction of Israel. Jewish students at Columbia University have reportedly been yelled at and exposed to offensive language, according to the Hasidic organization Chabad. A university-affiliated rabbi reportedly advised Jewish students to stay off campus until things improved. Protesters who have made public declarations have refuted accusations of anti-Semitism, claiming that their anger is directed towards the Israeli government and its allies. Students for Justice in Palestine at Columbia University denounced inflammatory individuals who do not represent us, and declared that they firmly reject any form of hate or bigotry. Dr. Shafik said in a statement that Columbia had established a working committee to try to bring this crisis to a resolution. Dr. Shafik gave testimony on Columbia's anti-Semitic activities before a congressional committee last week. She is under fire from a number of sources, including the University Senate, which may vote to condemn her due to the widespread arrests that took place on campus the day following her testimony. A letter demanding her resignation for her failure to put an end to the mob of students and agitators calling for acts of terrorism against Jewish students has also been signed by a number of federal lawmakers, led by Republican Representative Elise Stefanik of New York. Democrats have also urged Columbia to make Jewish students feel secure and at home. The way the protest was handled has drawn criticism from the university's own employees. The Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University demanded a urgent course correction, and stated that outside authorities should only become involved in cases where there was a clear and present danger to people or property in a statement that was issued to the BBC on Monday night. According to Israeli estimates, the attack on southern Israel on October 7 resulted in the deaths of over 1,200 Israelis and foreigners, the majority of whom were civilians, and the kidnapping of 253 more. In response, Israel declared war on Gaza in the most aggressive manner possible in an effort to destroy Hamas and liberate the hostages. The fighting has claimed the lives of over 34,000 Palestinians in Gaza, the most of them women and children, according to the health ministry operated by Hamas. Following a shift in views since the start of the current conflict, a recent Gallup poll indicated that the majority of Americans now disapprove of Israeli activity in Gaza.